If you have been feeling like the past few years have been pretty intense, and not only have you fought silent wars in your personal life, but also the outside world feels like it's falling apart little by little every day, I'm here to tell you that there is a possibility that things have been unraveling behind the scenes, intentionally, emotionally, and spiritually. So since we're at the end of 2025, I want to talk about 2026 because I love this time of the year and I love the whole idea of planning for the new year. So I've been doing a little bit of research about 2026, and just an FYI, I'm not a psychic or a future teller. I'm really just basing everything that I'm about to say off of things that I found online. So this is not a prediction in the traditional sense, but more like an energetic transition that the collective is moving through. So it seems like we're moving from the year of the snake to the year of the horse, and a 9-year in 2025 because 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9, to a 10-year in 2026 because 2 plus 2 plus 6 is 10. And number 10 also carries the essence of number 1 in numerology. So what I'm about to tell you is super interesting and super exciting. Hi, I'm Gabby, and I started this channel back when I was on maternity leave as a way to keep myself accountable while I pay off my debt. But the more and more videos that I made, my content became more and more about mindset and spirituality and the flow of energy and the universal laws. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the energy around 2026. So the first thing that is important to understand is that transitions, like the movement from one year to the next, don't just mark time, but they also mark movement. And you can think of 2026 not only just as a continuation of your storyline, but as a release valve opening that will change everything. So before we start, let's look back at 2025, the year of the snake. So the snake is symbolic of shedding skin, internal transitions, and subtle awareness. And snake years tend to work below the surface. And collectively, this may have looked like deep emotional processing, old identities dissolving, truths coming to life, but slowly, not dramatically, and a more clear awareness of what no longer fits. And this has not always been visible change. It was change in your nervous system, your beliefs, and your values. Many people didn't necessarily do more during this time. They actually felt more. And the 9-year in numerology explains this perfectly. Because a 9-year is the end of a cycle. Because number 9 in numerology represents the completion of a cycle. But you don't have to think of it as an ending, like slamming a door shut, but like realizing that you actually already walked out of that room. So the energy around number 9 asks you, what have we outgrown? What patterns can no longer follow us? And what identities are we ready to retire? And collectively, number 9 often brings emotional release, disillusionment, compassion fatigue, and the strong feeling like I can't keep doing this the same way anymore. This is why in 2025, so many people felt exhausted without knowing why, or they felt detached from things that they once felt so deeply connected to, or drawn inward instead of outwards. So even though it may have felt like something was off, actually nothing was really wrong, because completion often feels quiet. So now moving on to 2026, number 10 in numerology is powerful. In numerology, number 1 represents the beginnings, but not only that, it's also a threshold number. Let me explain. Number 1 represents initiation, leadership, and individuality. And number 0 represents source, amplification, and potential. So the number 10 is not rushing you forward, it's actually standing at the edge of a new cycle, fully aware of what came before. And collectively, this can feel like a sense of anticipation, a subtle internal readiness, or that feeling like I'm not sure what's coming next, but I know that I'm not going back to where I was. So 2026 is the year where you build a new sense of identity, your direction becomes more clear, and energy starts to return to you, but this time it returns differently. Instead of feeling chaotic, it feels purposeful. Now, the shift from the snake to the horse is where things really get interesting. The horse represents freedom, momentum, travel, and movement. independence, passion, and drive. So where the snake teaches us to pause and observe, the horse teaches us to move and trust. And collectively, this transition suggests a desire for forward movement after a long introspection, or a more visible change in the world. And people start to choose alignment over endurance and start reclaiming personal power. But remember that movement with a horse doesn't mean reckless movement. It's embodied momentum. So people in 2026 may feel less willing to stay in the same place, or over-explain themselves, or compromise their truth for comfort. And that's because the horse doesn't drag what no longer belongs. Okay, so what does this all mean altogether? 2026 will carry the energy of emotional honesty, directional clarity, reclaiming autonomy, and courage after a long period of contemplation. So that thing that you've been telling yourself that you want to do for years, now is the time to finally do it. And collectively, this can show up as more people changing paths, shifts in leadership and authorities, a stronger emphasis on individuality within the community, and movement away from fear-based living. So 2026 is finally the year that you're going to let go of that fear that stops you from, that limits yourself from doing what you actually want to do, and you're finally going to do it. But remember, this is not about force, it's about alignment and creating momentum naturally. And in 2026, you may notice that decisions suddenly become easier to make. Boundaries may feel less heavy, and you may feel a clearer sense of yes or no. And that's because your inner work has already been done in 2025. So here's my personal advice as we move into 2026. Remember that 2026 represents movement, but that doesn't mean that you need to rush. Instead, this is the perfect time to ask, where am I being called towards? What's an area in my life that no longer needs convincing? And what direction feels honest instead of impressive? Because remember, you're making changes to improve your life for yourself, not for everybody else. That's because the horse doesn't need permission to run, and the 10 doesn't need permission to begin again. So 2026 will remind us that transformation doesn't have to feel like struggle. Sometimes it can feel like movement after clarity. And if you have been feeling like you've been preparing for something but you don't know what that is, this may be the year that preparation turns into motion. And as always, thank you so much for watching to the end. I appreciate you. I hope that you liked this video. And if you did, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. I'm here for you, and I'm sending you all the positive energy to move forward into 2026 with alignment and clear intention. And I'll see you at the next one.